From Article 370 to the line of control, the Kashmir controversy is a complex issue that involves history, politics, and human rights. Join us as we untangle the threads of this long-standing dispute and explore the challenges to finding a peaceful resolution. Hello and welcome to our channel, where we discuss some of the most debated topics around the world. Today, we will talk about the Kashmir controversy, a long-standing issue between India and Pakistan that has been the subject of global attention for over 7 decades. Kashmir is a region located in the northernmost part of the Indian subcontinent, bordered by India, Pakistan, and China. Historically, the region has been a crossroads of civilizations and cultures, with a rich and diverse cultural heritage. Kashmir, also known as Paradise on Earth, is one of the most beautiful and breathtaking places in the world. The region is surrounded by the majestic Himalayan mountain range, which offers stunning views of snow-capped peaks and lush valleys. The natural beauty of Kashmir is unparalleled, with crystal-clear lakes, rolling meadows, and dense forests that are home to a diverse range of flora and fauna. The famous Dal Lake, which is surrounded by gardens and houseboats, is a popular tourist attraction and a symbol of the region's natural splendor. Despite the ongoing conflict and unrest in the region, the people of Kashmir have a deep love and attachment to their homeland, and take pride in its beauty, culture, and heritage. The origins of the Kashmir dispute date back to the partition of the Indian subcontinent in 1947, which saw the creation of the independent states of India and Pakistan. At the time, the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, which was ruled by a Hindu Maharaja, was given the choice of joining either India or Pakistan. The Maharaja initially chose to remain independent, but later acceded to India under controversial circumstances, leading to the First Indo-Pakistani War in 1947–48. Since then, both India and Pakistan have claimed sovereignty over the entire region, while only administering parts of it. The region is divided into 3 parts: the Indian-administered Jammu and Kashmir, the Pakistani-administered Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, and the Chinese-administered Aksai Chin. The Kashmir dispute is a complex and multifaceted issue, with historical, political, social, and religious factors intertwined. The region has a predominantly Muslim population, but also has significant Hindu, Sikh, and Buddhist minorities. The dispute has been fueled by religious and nationalist sentiments, as well as strategic and geopolitical considerations. The Kashmir conflict has been marked by violence, with frequent clashes between Indian security forces and militants, and cross-border shelling between India and Pakistan. The conflict has also had a severe impact on the human rights situation in the region, with reports of abuses by both Indian security forces and militants. Despite numerous diplomatic efforts and initiatives by the international community, the Kashmir dispute remains unresolved, and tensions between India and Pakistan over the region continue to simmer. The future of the region and its people remains uncertain, with profound implications for the stability and security of South Asia and beyond. India maintains that Kashmir is an integral part of its territory, and that the dispute with Pakistan is a bilateral issue that should be resolved through dialogue. India claims that the accession of Kashmir to India in 1947 was legal and valid, and that the Indian constitution guarantees special autonomy to the state. India argues that Pakistan has been supporting terrorism in the region, and that separatist movements in Kashmir have been instigated and funded by Pakistan. India has accused Pakistan of providing training, arms, and financial support to militant groups operating in Kashmir, such as Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, and of harboring terrorists on its soil. India has also implemented a range of measures to maintain law and order in the region, including the deployment of a large number of security forces and the use of strict restrictions on communication and movement. India claims that these measures are necessary to prevent terrorist attacks and maintain public order in the face of separatist violence. India has rejected calls for a referendum on the future of Kashmir, arguing that such a move would violate India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. India has also criticized the role of the international community in the Kashmir dispute, arguing that it is a bilateral issue that should be resolved through direct talks with Pakistan. However, India has expressed a willingness to engage in dialogue with Pakistan on the Kashmir issue, provided that Pakistan stops supporting terrorist activities in the region. India has also emphasized the need for economic development and integration of Kashmir with the rest of India, as a means of promoting peace and stability in the region. On the other hand, Pakistan claims that Kashmir is an integral part of its territory, and that the people of Kashmir have the right to self-determination. Pakistan argues that the accession of Kashmir to India in 1947 was illegal and illegitimate, and that the dispute with India over the region is a matter of international concern. Pakistan has accused India of human rights violations in Kashmir, including extrajudicial killings, disappearances, torture, and rape. Pakistan has also criticized India's use of security forces in the region, arguing that it has led to the suppression of the Kashmiri people and their legitimate demands for autonomy. Pakistan has consistently called for a referendum on the future of Kashmir, under the auspices of the United Nations, which would allow the people of Kashmir to decide their own fate. Pakistan has argued that such a move is in line with international law and democratic principles, and that it would help to resolve the long-standing dispute between India and Pakistan. Pakistan has also accused India of using the Kashmir dispute as a pretext to build up its military and nuclear capabilities, and of pursuing aggressive policies towards Pakistan. Pakistan has emphasized the need for dialogue and diplomacy in resolving the Kashmir issue, and has sought the support of the international community in this regard. In recent years, Pakistan has stepped up its diplomatic efforts to draw attention to the Kashmir issue, raising the matter at the United Nations and other international forums. Pakistan has also sought to highlight the human rights situation in Kashmir, and has called for independent investigations into alleged human rights abuses by Indian security forces. The Kashmir dispute has attracted the attention of the international community, and has been a subject of discussion and debate at various international forums. The United Nations has been involved in the Kashmir issue since 1948, when it passed a resolution calling for a plebiscite to be held in the region to determine its future status. However, the plebiscite was never held due to disagreements between India and Pakistan over its implementation. The United States has also been involved in the Kashmir dispute, with successive administrations expressing concern over the situation in the region and calling for dialogue between India and Pakistan. The U.S. has emphasized the need for a peaceful resolution of the dispute, and has urged both India and Pakistan to address the root causes of the conflict. Other major powers, such as China, Russia, and the European Union, have also expressed concern over the Kashmir issue, and have called for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve the dispute. In addition to diplomatic efforts, there have been numerous civil society initiatives and people-to-people exchanges aimed at promoting peace and understanding between the people of India and Pakistan. These include cultural exchanges, sports events, and educational programs, which have helped to foster greater mutual understanding and tolerance. Despite these efforts, however, the Kashmir dispute remains unresolved, and tensions between India and Pakistan over the region continue to simmer. The international community continues to monitor the situation closely, and remains committed to supporting a peaceful resolution of the Kashmir dispute. The situation in Kashmir remains tense and volatile, with sporadic outbreaks of violence and unrest. In August 2019, the Indian government revoked the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, which granted the state a high degree of autonomy. The move sparked protests and outrage in the region, and led to a crackdown by Indian security forces. Since then, there have been reports of human rights abuses in the region, including extrajudicial killings, detentions, and restrictions on freedom of speech and movement. The Indian government has defended its actions as necessary to maintain law and order in the region and prevent terrorism. Pakistan has strongly condemned India's actions in Kashmir, and has accused India of human rights violations and repression in the region. Pakistan has also stepped up its diplomatic efforts to draw attention to the Kashmir issue, and has called for international pressure on India to address the situation. Despite these tensions, there have been some recent signs of a thaw in relations between India and Pakistan. In February 2021, the two countries announced a ceasefire along the line of control, the de facto border between Indian and Pakistani-administered Kashmir. The move was seen as a positive step towards easing tensions between the two countries, and has been welcomed by the international community. However, the underlying issues that have fueled the Kashmir dispute, including questions of sovereignty, self-determination, and security, remain unresolved. The situation in Kashmir remains fragile, and any further escalation of tensions could have serious implications for regional stability and security. Religious violence has been a significant feature of the Kashmir conflict, with both Hindus and Muslims being targeted in various incidents of violence and unrest. One of the most significant incidents of religious violence in Kashmir was the exodus of the Kashmiri Pandits in 1989, when thousands of Hindu families were forced to flee the valley due to threats and attacks by militants. This led to a significant demographic shift in the region and a deepening of communal tensions. The region has also witnessed several instances of communal violence, including riots, arson, and targeted killings. In 2002, for instance, there were widespread riots in the Jammu region, in which several people were killed and thousands were displaced. In 2013, there were riots in Kishtwar, which led to the death of several people. The violence in Kashmir has also been marked by religiously motivated attacks by militants. Militant groups have targeted Hindu temples, shrines, and pilgrims, as well as Muslim religious leaders who have advocated for peace and reconciliation. The religious violence in Kashmir has deepened the sense of mistrust and suspicion between different communities and has hindered efforts at reconciliation and peacebuilding. It has also led to the displacement and suffering of thousands of families and has had a significant impact on the social, cultural, and economic fabric of the region. Addressing the issue of religious violence in Kashmir is crucial for any lasting solution to the conflict. This will require concerted efforts by all stakeholders to promote interfaith dialogue, build trust and understanding, and address the root causes of the conflict. Article 370 was a provision in the Indian constitution that granted a special status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. It gave the state a high degree of autonomy, allowing it to have its own constitution, flag, and control over its internal affairs, while still being part of the Indian Union. Article 370 was seen as a major achievement for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, as it gave them a measure of self-governance and protection from interference by the central government in New Delhi. The provision also allowed the state to maintain its distinct identity and cultural heritage, and gave the people of the region a sense of pride and belonging. Under Article 370, the Indian government could only legislate on matters related to defence, foreign affairs, and communications in Jammu and Kashmir, while all other matters were the purview of the state government. This gave the state a significant degree of autonomy, and helped to ensure that the interests of the people of Jammu and Kashmir were protected. The provision also played a key role in ensuring the peaceful integration of Jammu and Kashmir into the Indian Union in 1947, following the end of British colonial rule. At the time, the state was given the option to join either India or Pakistan, and its accession to India was contingent on the special status granted by Article 370. Despite its importance to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, Article 370 was controversial in India, with many arguing that it created a sense of separatism and hindered the state's development. In August 2019, the Indian government revoked the provision, arguing that it was necessary to bring Jammu and Kashmir into the mainstream and promote its development. The move was widely criticized by the people of Jammu and Kashmir, as well as by human rights groups and the international community, who argued that it violated the rights of the people of the region and undermined their autonomy and self-determination. The revocation of Article 370 remains a contentious issue, and is seen as a major factor contributing to the ongoing tensions in Kashmir. The Kashmir controversy remains one of the most challenging issues in South Asia, with no clear solution in sight. Both India and Pakistan need to engage in constructive dialogue to resolve their differences and find a lasting solution to the conflict. We hope that the international community will continue to support efforts towards peace in the region. Thank you for watching, like and share for more such videos. See you next time.